Hey guys, I'm Noah Berg.
And I'm Ryan Johnson.
And today we're going to be talking about how we made our newest short film, Betrayed.
What? You good? The big battery died. We got another one.
For the location, we really wanted a place that was kind of out in the middle of nowhere that didn't have a lot of people because, this wasn't really a thing that would go down in public. This was, a more low-key thing. So for that, we decided to use Ryan's barn.
We liked this location a lot because of all the farm equipment and trailers, and it gave it that very rustic feel. We also liked it because it had a ton of open space, which allowed for a lot of natural lighting and dynamic movement through the set.
For the camera setup, we used the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and we used a Rode shotgun microphone. Particularly to get the best audio, we had the microphone on a boom stand, and that way, we could get as close as possible to our actor. We used a 75mm ND filter, and that way I could keep the best shutter speeds possible for motion blur, and that also allowed me to get a 2.8 aperture.
For this film, the script was fairly simple. We made it for a 5-minute action short film competition. We actually sent a shorter cut of the movie because it was over 5 minutes. So we sent the shorter cut off to the film contest. It's fairly simple. We have two characters. They are at this scene. They're waiting on two mobsters to come in to pay them their money. The money ends up being fake and a fight ensues. So it's very simple.
Alright, for the cinematography, I really wanted to make it feel as if you were there with the actors. So we particularly started this up with, you don't know too much about the characters, but you know enough that you get involved with them. And you can tell that with the cinematography, especially with the way it's filmed and it's close up, and it's really gritty. We had this gritty LUT with, a really dark color grade, and that's what we were going for. Alright, so for most of this film, it was actually filmed on a shoulder mount, but there was also fight scenes where I did handheld. So for a lot of the shots, I didn't want it to be too, spastic with the camera going everywhere, so the shoulder mount's a really good way to stabilize it. But for shots like the fight scene when Ryan and Colin fall on the ground, I took it off to give it that really shaky feel. So, it feels so crazy and hectic, and you feel like you're in that moment trying to grasp for the upper ground with those characters, and I think that adds a lot of tension to the viewer. Angles and dialogue versus fight scene. Alright, so movements and shots. Alright, so...
According to Merriam-Webster, definition of dialogue: 1. A written composition in which two or more characters are presented as expressing.
For the fight scene, which is the main part of the script, we actually didn't choreograph a lot of it because we wanted it to feel very raw and emotional, and that really added to the feel of the whole movie. We had lots of grappling, very dirty fighting moves. There wasn't a lot of fancy punches, kicks, no clean techniques at all. There was a lot of wrestling, a lot of just people get thrown down, dirty haymakers getting thrown. And of course we have the infamous crowbar shot at the end, which we kind of came up with on the spot. And that's kind of the ending move. That's kind of what sits with you.
Alright, so for the special effects, obviously there was a lot of intense fight scenes, a lot of emotion. You could see it on the characters' faces, but the best way to really make it believable is to show that there's a lot of blood. Particularly for the scene between me and Axel, like Ryan said, we're already in there and you can tell that they're both bloodied up. For this, really, it was just, we used some, basically the scar wax, and I put it over my head right here to make a little indent. On Axel, we had no blood running down his nose. For this was just all fake blood, and we had a sponge, and we mixed black and red just to make it look like there's a lot of bruising with some blood. Same thing for Colin. You can tell there's a big scar right here, like when he got hit in the face. So we have a big indent right there, and that's just really sells, what these characters have been through. particularly besides that, the knife scene was actually also practical. For this, we duct taped the knife to make a knife handle. It's actually a common thing. I've seen people do it before. I've done it myself with like an axe. If you're going to cut down a tree or something, people will use duct tape to make a grip, so you know your hands don't wear out as easily if you're not wearing gloves. What we did is we took this to our advantage, and we put the fake blood packet and wrapped it around duct tape with the handle. Then Ryan grabbed onto it, and every time he hit Colin, he would squeeze and make the fake blood come out, and it looked really realistic. And the best part about this is, unlike the fight scenes where, you know, I'm filming and trying to make sure it's cinematic, and also you can tell that the punches are hitting, you can film this any way you want because you can't see the fake blood packet, and you're free to have full creative potential or whatever angle you so choose. The only thing that wasn't practical in this was the gun effects. For this, this was all in After Effects. I used the Action Essentials pack. For the sound effects, I used the Film Riot gun effects pack.
To sum it all up, we had a blast making this. It was pretty quick, it was simple, not a whole lot of prep time going into this. It took like 4 days to film, which was a break from our normal schedule.
And altogether, I think the most important thing is we had a good time, everyone had fun. We did end up winning. It's on the Future Filmmaker channel. If you want to go watch it, I'd highly recommend Hannah's channel. She does really great videos with some really good information if you're just starting out. But like I said, hopefully this video helped you out. I gave you some good information. If you're planning on doing some action scenes and you want to do some practical effects like with the knife or whatnot, whatever you choose to do, hopefully this helped. And we'll see you guys later on Buddy Films Productions.